All right, welcome back. You ready to get stoic with it? Today, we're going deep on something you might not expect.
Okay.
Stoic morning routines.
Oh, right.
That's right. We're unpacking 10 things you must do every morning. Stoic routine. And, the source material is pretty amped about it, you know. But we're gonna kind of like cut through all that hype and see what's actually like, useful. What wisdom can we actually take from these like ancient dudes?
Yeah.
And use it for our modern lives, not just togas and virtue signaling and all that.
Right. Because Stoicism, it's all about navigating the rough stuff.
Yeah.
And living with purpose. And you'd be surprised how much these 2,000-year-old ideas are actually still so relevant.
Yeah. Well, okay. So first up on the list.
Yeah.
Gratitude.
Okay.
Now you might be thinking, ugh, another gratitude list.
Right.
But honestly, even I was kind of struck by how the Stoics come at this. It's not just about like feeling good vibes. It's about building up this resilience, like mental armor or something.
Exactly. And the source even quotes Marcus Aurelius.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He was running the whole Roman Empire.
Crazy.
Still made time to list out what he was grateful for.
I mean, talk about high pressure. Right.
Right. He saw gratitude as this way to change your perspective, to armor up against negativity.
So if an emperor could find time for gratitude and all that chaos, maybe we could squeeze it into it, right?
Absolutely. And think about it. You're just bombarded with information demands all day long. So starting with gratitude, it can be that grounding force.
Okay. Yeah.
A way to center yourself before the day runs away with you.
All right. I'm sold. Stoic gratitude. What's next on this like philosophical to-do list?
Number 2 is all about purpose.
Okay.
And this is where it gets really interesting because it's so different from the usual like hustle harder, go, go, go morning routine advice we see everywhere.
Yeah. The source material, it actually pushes back against that whole like optimize every second thing.
Yeah.
They say, think about your purpose, your role in the bigger picture. It sounds kind of daunting first thing in the morning, to be honest.
I get it. But the Stoics weren't talking about some grand destiny.
Okay.
It's more about finding meaning in your everyday actions. Like they believed we all have roles to play, even if they seem small.
Right.
And excelling in those roles, that's where the real fulfillment is.
So how do we actually apply that to like our lives?
Right.
Like how do I find deeper purpose in answering emails or doing dishes?
Right. It's about connecting those tasks to something larger.
Okay.
Maybe your purpose is being a reliable teammate, a caring parent, or someone who just strives to do their best. No matter the task, right?
Yeah.
It's about shifting from that I have to to I choose to because it matters.
Oh, I see. Okay, starting to get it. But this next one threw me for a loop.
What is it?
Negative visualization.
Oh, yeah. Hold on.
Before you think I'm telling everyone to start their day with doom and gloom.
Right.
Hear me out.
Yeah, I had the same reaction at first.
Right.
It sounds so counterintuitive, right, to a positive morning routine.
It does.
But the Stoics, they were so practical, not pessimistic.
Right, they weren't trying to be like Debbie Downers or anything.
No.
Okay, so explain this. Why negative visualization?
It's about getting ready for those challenges mentally.
Okay.
So you're not blindsided when they happen. Seneca, one of the big Stoic thinkers, he wrote about this.
Oh, wow.
He said, rehearsing difficulties, it toughens us up.
Okay.
Like a fire drill, but for your mind.
Oh, so instead of freaking out when stuff hits the fan, you've already kind of prepped for it.
Yeah.
And you could be like, all right, no problem.
Exactly. Think of a common stressor, like hitting traffic on your way to work. Instead of letting that frustration take over, what if you'd visualize that? You could choose how to respond.
Right.
Deep breaths, put on some music, whatever works for you.
That's kind of brilliant.
Yeah.
It's like flipping the script on those negative emotions before they even like take hold.
And the more you practice this, the more automatic that calm response becomes.
Right.
You're building that mental strength so you're not caught off guard when life throws a curveball. And you know it will.
Oh, it will.
Yeah.
It always does.
It does.
Okay, I'm starting to see the method to this. Stoic madness. What's next? What's the next secret to a superpower morning?
Number 4 is all about consistency.
Okay.
Specifically, waking up at the same time every day. Now, you might think this is just productivity stuff.
Right.
But the Stoics, they had a deeper reason.
Yeah, I was surprised to see this on the list, especially with all the talk about
Right.
sleep schedules and optimizing sleep and everything. What's the Stoic angle here? Is it about being a morning person?
Not really. For them, it was about self-discipline.
Okay.
A consistent wake-up time. Even if it's not early,
Yeah.
it shows self-control.
Right.
It's about honoring a commitment to yourself, even when that snooze button is calling your name.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's less about the time and more about proving to yourself, hey, I'm in control here, not my impulses, not,
Exactly. And I think there's a really powerful message there for all of us.
Yeah.
If you struggle with this, what's one little change you could make?
Right.
Maybe set the alarm 15 minutes earlier or put it across the room so you have to get out of bed.
Right.
It's about taking back control of that morning.
Love it. And speaking of control, point number 5 is something I bet everyone listening can relate to. Taming the tech beast.
Oh, yeah.
The source material straight up says, resist that urge to check your phone first thing.
It's like a reflex now, isn't it?
It is.
We wake up
and we just plug right in before we've even connected with, ourselves.
Yeah, and they actually suggest a tech-free first hour of the day, which I gotta say, that sounds pretty radical.
Yep.
It's not even possible in today's world.
It might seem that way, but think about it in terms of what we've talked about already.
Okay.
Stoicism is about focusing on what truly matters.
Right.
On controlling what you can. Right.
Yeah.
So starting your day scrolling through social media or emails.
Right.
That's the opposite of that.
It is?
You're letting the outside world dictate your mood and your priorities before you've even had a chance to think about them.
Right. It's like reacting to everyone else's agenda before you even consider your own. Yeah.
Exactly. So the source suggests creating space for your priorities, for things that nourish you, nourish your mind and your soul.
Right.
Whether that's meditation, journaling, reading, or just enjoying a quiet cup of coffee.
Okay.
Start the day on your own terms. I like that. So I have to ask, what if we all tried this? A world where people spent that first hour tech-free.
Yeah.
What could we accomplish? What insights would we gain if we weren't constantly bombarded with information?
That is a fascinating thought.
Yeah.
What if instead of feeding the algorithm, we fed our own minds first? I think the Stoics would approve of that.
I think they would too.
Yeah.
You know what? That's actually a great place to pause.
Okay.
We've covered a lot of ground already.
We have.
And I'm already feeling inspired to shake up my own morning routine.
Me too.
Yeah. But we're only halfway through this list.
Yeah.
And there's
a lot of
so much more to explore. We've got the concept of ikigai, the importance of evening preparation, even the idea of reflecting on mortality.
It's going to get deep.
It's going to get real. But trust me.
Yeah.
The Stoics had a very specific and surprisingly uplifting way of approaching all of this stuff. Okay, listeners, we'll be right back with part 2 of our Stoic morning routine deep dive.
Can't wait.
So don't go anywhere.
Stick around.
Welcome back to our deep dive into Stoic morning routines. All right, I'm ready for more Stoic wisdom. What's next?
This one might surprise you. Point number 6 brings in something from Japanese philosophy, ikigai.
Ikigai. I've heard of that, but to be honest, I don't really know what it means.
Yeah.
How does that even fit into a Stoic morning routine?
It's pretty cool, actually, how these different cultures can,
Right.
complement each other. Ikigai is all about finding that sweet spot where your passions and skills and what the world needs and what you can get paid for all come together.
Wow. Okay, that's a lot to process first thing in the morning. I think we need a Venn diagram to figure this out.
Right.
But I can see how it connects to the Stoic idea of fulfilling your role, doing it really well.
Exactly. The Stoics believed we all have a specific part to play.
Right.
Ikigai says we all have something special to offer.
Huh.
Yeah. It's about finding that thing that makes you excited to get out of bed.
Okay.
Or you can use your talents to make a real difference.
So are they suggesting we have a mini existential crisis every morning trying to figure out our ikigais?
Right.
Some of us are still trying to figure out breakfast?
Ha ha! Maybe not a full-blown crisis, but the source does encourage us to ask ourselves some key questions, what lights me up? What am I good at? How can I actually make an impact? You don't need all the answers right away.
Right.
But even thinking about this stuff can really get you thinking.
Yeah, you know what? You're right. Sometimes just asking those questions is enough to get things going. It's like planting a seed in your mind.
Exactly. And a lot of times your ikigai, it's not this big sudden revelation.
Right.
It kind of unfolds over time.
Right.
If you keep reflecting on these questions, you'll start to see patterns, Notice what really energizes you, where you can really shine.
Okay, I'm on board with the Ikigai quest. But point number 7 made me laugh.
What is it?
Prepare the night before. They snuck in some evening routine advice. Talk about planning ahead.
Right. It's like homework for your morning routine.
Yeah.
But it makes sense from a Stoic point of view.
Yep.
They were big on preparation.
Yeah.
Not in a controlling way.
Right.
But as a way of like respecting your future self.
Yeah. Instead of scrambling in the morning and letting the day run you,
Right.
You're taking charge, setting yourself up for success.
Exactly. And the source gives some really practical tips for evening prep.
Okay.
Like, prioritize your to-do list for the next day.
Right.
Limit that screen time so your mind can unwind. Maybe do some calming stuff, like reading or deep breathing.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be complicated.
I love those tips. I can already feel the stress melting away just thinking about it.
Right.
I love how it ties back to controlling what you can. You can't always control what happens during the day, but you can control how you get ready for it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And sometimes that preparation, that makes all the difference.
It really does. Okay, I'm ready for number 8, but I have a feeling I know what's coming. They're going to tell us to make our beds, aren't they?
You got it. It's
Yeah.
almost a cliche now.
Yeah, it is.
But I think the Stoics were onto something.
Yeah.
And they actually had a very specific reason for this whole tidy bed thing.
Oh, so it's more than just about having a neat room.
Yeah. The source explains that this little act, it reinforces self-discipline. It's not about like getting perfect corners on your sheets.
Yeah.
It's about showing yourself you care about the details,
Right.
that you're willing to put in effort even for something small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like setting the tone for the whole day. If you can handle making your bed,
Yeah.
you can handle bigger challenges.
Exactly. And they challenge you to think about this. What's one tiny habit you could add to your morning that reinforces that self-control?
Yeah.
Maybe making tea mindfully, taking 5 minutes to stretch. It's those small things that can make a big impact.
I like that. Small steps, big impact.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm feeling ready to tackle the next one, but I gotta admit, it always gives me pause. Number 9, reflect on memento mori. That's intense.
Oh, right. It sounds pretty heavy for a morning routine.
Yeah.
But the Stoics had a very specific and actually beautiful way of looking at it.
Okay, I'm all ears. How do we reflect on our mortality without, sending everyone into a spiral before they've even had their coffee?
First, it's important to get this. Memento mori isn't about dwelling on death or becoming like obsessed with dying.
Right.
It's about using that awareness of our mortality to really appreciate life, to live each day with more intention.
So it's more about recognizing that our time is precious, we shouldn't waste it.
Exactly. And of course, they bring up Marcus Aurelius again. He wrote so much about how fleeting life is, urged people to make the most of each day.
Right.
They frame it as a question in the source. If today was your last day, would you change how you're living it?
Wow, that's powerful.
It is. It's not about fear.
Right.
It's about looking at your priorities, asking yourself, am I living in line with my values?
Yeah. It's about clarity. Focus on what matters.
Exactly. And speaking of what matters, that brings us to the last point on the list.
Okay.
Which kind of brings us full circle, in a way.
Ooh, I'm sensing a theme here. What's number 10?
Number 10 is gratitude redux.
Okay.
They're hitting us with a double dose of appreciation. Gratitude isn't just a morning thing. It's something to practice all day, even into the evening.
So, bookending the day with gratitude?
I like that, but why revisit it at the end?
Well, think about it. We spent this whole time talking about Stoic techniques for handling challenges.
Yeah.
Living intentionally.
Right.
But even with the best plans, things don't always go smoothly.
True.
You might end the day feeling stressed, frustrated, maybe even defeated. Even with a perfect Stoic morning routine, we're not immune to life.
Exactly. And that's where gratitude comes back.
Yeah.
In ending the day with it. It helps you cultivate that positive mindset.
Right.
Even when things have been tough.
Yeah.
It's about focusing on the good, the things you can be thankful for no matter what.
It's like that saying, gratitude turns what we have into enough.
Perfectly said. And it goes back to that Stoic thing of controlling what you can.
Right.
You can't always control what happens.
Yeah.
But you can control your attitude, your outlook.
So even if everything went wrong during the day, there's still something to be grateful for. That's a powerful shift.
It really is. The source material suggests something simple. Before bed, Take a minute. Think of 3 things you're grateful for. Could be anything: a warm bed, a good meal, a kind word from a friend.
I love that. Such a simple practice, but I bet it really makes a difference. Going to sleep feeling grateful. You probably wake up feeling a little lighter, more positive.
Exactly. And that shows how this whole Stoic morning routine thing,
yeah,
it's more than just a bunch of separate practices.
Yeah.
It's about building a mindset that stays with you, sets you up for success no matter what.
Okay, we've made it to the end of the list. What now? Where do we go from here?
Ooh.
Yeah, as we wrap up this whole Stoic deep dive, I'm realizing there's a lot of good stuff here.
Yeah.
And it's not just about, ancient Rome and wearing togas or whatever. It's something more.
It's about tools, techniques, a way of thinking that can help anyone live more intentionally.
And I think we could all use a little more intention in our lives.
Absolutely.
Couldn't agree more. So as we leave our listeners to think about all this Stoic wisdom, what's one last thought you want to leave them with?
I'd say go back, think about everything we've talked about today.
Yeah.
And ask yourself, what really stuck with you? What made you curious? Maybe it was the gratitude thing. Maybe it was using negative visualization to get ready for those tough moments.
Yeah.
Maybe even that ikigai idea. Whatever it was, pick one thing and try it out.
Right.
See how it feels to bring that Stoic practice into your own morning.
That's a great point. It's not about becoming a Stoic expert overnight.
No.
It's about finding what works for you, for your life.
Right.
Who knows? Maybe you'll find a whole new way to start your day.
Yeah.
One that brings you more focus, more intention, and maybe even a little bit of that Stoic calm,
Absolutely.
I love it. Well, that's about it for our deep dive into Stoic morning routines.
It's been fun.
It has been fun. I learned a lot. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Until next time.
Keep exploring.
Keep learning. Keep those mornings Stoic.